What's going on, everybody? So today's video is actually a suggestion made by Condor, and he wants to know how to display dynamic data using an API in ChartJS using React hooks. Well, I'll show you all how to do that in this video. And just a quick preface before we do begin, this is a continuation tutorial on our last ChartJS video where I taught y'all how to set up ChartJS using React hooks and everything. And the link to that video is in the description below, or a tag should open up in the video. And without further ado, let's get into this. Alright, so if you did follow the tutorial for our last ChartJS video, your app should look something like this. Your dankmemes.js file should look something like this. And the first thing I want to do is I am going to create a new terminal, and I'm going to install Axios for our request for API. So it's going to be npm I axios -- save. And while that's happening, I'm going to create two useState variables that's going to be responsible for displaying our data for our API. So I'm going to do const. First one's going to be employee salary. I'm going to set employee salary. I'm going to do use state and use an empty array. I'm going to copy this and paste it, and this one's going to be employee age, and same thing here, set employee age, and it should also be imported automatically, so use state and use effect are the two things that we're going to be using. Cool. Alright, so now let's use an API to actually get some dynamic data so we can put into our chart. And the API that I've chosen is this dummy REST API example where we have employee salary and ages. And so what we're going to do is we're basically going to be rendering salary and ages into our chart. So to do that, I'm going to go into our function right here. And inside of here, I am going to do an Axios call. So axios.get. And I'm going to paste in the URL because I forgot to copy it. And just paste it in right there. Right underneath it, I'll do a dot then res, and I'll console.log res just to see what we get, and I'll do a catch, and if there's an error we can catch it. Hopefully we don't drop it. No, whoops, not res, error, err, and we'll just console log that. And if we were to test it out, go back into our app, we go and inspect. Well, we're already inspecting, so console log, and we'll see that we have data, and we have another data, and inside of there we have another data. And now we have the actual data right there. So let's take this data and throw it on the chart. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to do a for of loop, and I'll do const data obj of res.data.data, and inside of here I am going to actually, outside of the Axios call, I'm going to make two variables called one emp sal and one called emp age. And so I'm just going to be storing the values inside of these two empty arrays. So right in here I'm going to do emp sal.push. And since the data is coming back as a string, we want to change it to a number. I'm going to do parse int, and I'm going to do data obj.employee underscore salary. I'll copy this and paste it, and instead of employee sal, I'll do employee age, and I'll do data obj.employee age. And now if I were to console.log emp sal and emp age, we should see our data being pushed inside of this array, wherever it is. There we go. Cool. I don't know why it's initially looking empty, but I guess that's right. That's weird. I don't know. Anyways, so now let's take these two and let's put them into the labels and the data that we want. So for employee salary, let's put, instead of this array, we'll just do emp sal, And instead of these labels, we want to use an age, so we'll just do emp age, and we'll just... Alright, let's see what it looks like. So if we go back into our app, we'll see that we have a uncaught cannot read property skip of undefined. Alright, so we still need to put this inside of our .then right here, or else it won't be able to find it. I'm doing air quotes, you can't see it, but if I were to refresh the page, it's gonna take its time. Slow in. Oh, my internet is just dead. Oh, cool, there we go. So now we have each age right down here corresponding to each salary of the employee, and this is dynamic data coming from an Axios API. Alright, so hopefully y'all enjoyed that video and learn how to render dynamic data in ChartJS. Now this is just one way of getting dynamic data. I did try to figure out a different way where you would use two different functions to render data, one for getting the data and one for rendering the charts, but for some reason I just couldn't figure it out, so I stuck to this way, and I will actually give that as a challenge to you, where try to actually separate the Axios call and the chart render in two different functions, and see if you can do that. If you can't, leave whatever issue you have in the comment below, and I'll see if I can get to it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flippity flip.